Hello everyone, this is the FPL trio. I am Pulkit, and as always, I am joined by my co-hosts Daniel and Michael. Daniel, how's it going?
It's going great, Bulkit. Happy to be here and excited to do some match reviews. What about you, Michael? Are you doing good?
Yeah, going good. Can't wait for the weekend to come so I can start worrying about how my FPL team does.
Let's start with our match reviews. So basically, game week 2 match review, and we'll be reviewing Tottenham versus Everton. We'll be using the SofaScore website. So the score line over here, Tottenham won by a huge margin. Definitely not looking good for Everton defense. Tottenham ended up scoring 4 goals with Son getting a brace. So looking at the overall stats and the expected numbers 2.43 goals for Spurs. Ange is always attacking. And so Spurs were definitely expected to be attacking slightly more than the expected number of goals for Spurs, but it's still high. And Everton were expected to score a single goal, but they didn't, and Spurs got a clean sheet.
Yeah.
Look at the player average positions. So starting with Spurs, and how about starting with the main man who was your captain as well, Daniel?
Yeah, no, Heung-min Son, what a guy. Captain, I mean, I always felt like he would do good versus Everton. He got 2 goals, so that was great. Clean sheet as well, obviously. He played well, as we mentioned in our team review video, Bulkit. You were saying that, I mean, when Son plays as a striker, he's always going to perform. He's explosive, he overachieves his expected goals and assists. So yeah, no, I think it was a great game from Son. I'm not sure if he's gonna keep it up with Solanke and he back from injury and then Richarlison in the shadows. But yeah, no, it was a great game overall. And I mean, I would expected him to be a bit maybe higher, but especially he wasn't involved in the build-up play as well. I think that's what Son likes to do. He likes to be everywhere.
Yeah, completely agreed. And I remember just when I saw the lineup, because City game and Spurs game were at the same time. And I saw the lineup. I saw Son starting in the 9 position, and I messaged you, Daniel, that this is how he covers up for Haaland, because I
Fair
had
enough.
this feeling.
Yeah, no, I was a good one. Yeah.
All right, then definitely let's see if he keeps continuing with this central position. I mean, I would like to look at his stat when he plays in the central position. I think he almost always delivers, but
Mhm.
let's see if he continues in the central position. Then we have other assets from Spurs. Kulusevski looks pretty ahead. Johnson looks pretty ahead, but didn't get any return. His heat map looks okay, but not too much in the central position, on the side mostly. And then Odobert over here, he also looks pretty good. His heat map looks good as well. Do you know, guys, know how much he is priced in?
Sure, right. No. But while we do that, I just want to say that Belen Johnson and Kulusevski, I mean, they played allegedly behind each other, but they had the same position, and that might have played a big effect on Pedro Porro not going as high as last game because they're ready to keep it up there, and he was much less attacking in this game, which we all know how good Pedro Porro is. Maybe it was just a one-off, but if Kulusevski and Belen Johnson keep starting on that wing, Pedro Porro might have to, take a back seat. Even Doggy was even higher than him. So that's something to, watch and see in the next couple game weeks.
And for Odobert, he is 5.5.
Interesting. So let's see if he continues starting or not and how he looks. 5.5 is definitely a good price, but of course we have other options as well. Another player we can also look at is Madison. Madison has been looking quite good this season. He looked good at the start of last season as well. He's 7.5, so could be a good option to consider for people who cannot get to Son.
Yeah, like with Madison, I think if he plays in the middle of it, he is a bit safer than Son if Solake does start more, because he plays more of like a center mid or a defensive mid sometimes. So if he wants someone in the Spurs team that can play more in the middle all the time, then Madison's the choice. But I think Son, even on the wing, once he grows and gels with Slake, he can still get more points even though he's on the wing.
I think we covered most of the Spurs assets. At the moment, I'd still say Son is the key one, even with the difficult fixtures that they have. They have now Newcastle and Arsenal in the next two. So those are definitely tough fixture. What do you guys recommend on Poro? I decided to keep him even with the tough fixtures because I had other fires to put out. But if someone has free transfers, nothing planned as of now, would you still say to roll or maybe sell, borrow, and get someone else?
I would probably keep him. I know Spurs has two tough fixtures in Newcastle and Arsenal, but after these two fixtures, they have a very good run up until game week 12 in their first Man City. I mean, they have Brentford home, West Ham at home, Ipswich at home in those runs there. And Spurs are always going to be attacking whether they're at home or not. So I think if you're able to rotate Porro for another defender for the next 2 weeks, I would say just keep him because I wouldn't want to waste a transfer on a defender just to keep it out for 2 weeks and then bring him in again.
Yeah, I
you
completely
guys
agree
think?
with you.
Yeah, I agree as well. I mean, if you don't have him, I wouldn't say go ahead and buy him. If you
Yeah.
do have them, then yeah, probably hold for now. Unless you want to go differential and go for someone else. But I mean, I'm sure that everyone has Bucket mentioned other flyers to put out.
Yeah, good that we are on the same page. So then let's look at Everton as well. So Everton conceded 4. Their defense is definitely not looking good, and their average positioning is also not too high. Dominic Calvert-Lewin being the highest, the striker, along with him McNean, and on the other side Harrison. So their average positioning looks okay. They could have probably scored a goal as we saw from the expected numbers, but Everton players, I don't think anyone is looking to bring them in.
Yeah, not at the moment. We just need to see if they can start stabilizing that defense. As we can see in both games, once they have that first goal going against them, second goal, they just look defeated for the rest of the game. And for a Premier League team, that should be happening. They should still keep fighting. So I think it's not about the performance, it's more about their pride in their jersey to see if they can get more motivated to actually get better after that 1 goal or 2 goals against them.
Yeah, agreed there. And also one thing that I'm observing, like we saw in our match review of the Manchester City Ipswich game, Manchester City scored 4, Ipswich scored 1, but you could see Ipswich getting back and being in the defensive position only in their half. But with Everton, even though they conceded 4, their average position still seems quite high. So the defenders are quite high. They seem to be maintaining some sort of high line there. So maybe if they continue like this, they could actually be the team to target.
I agree with that. Yeah, they're definitely, I would say, a team to target. I mean, they're playing Bournemouth now, so unless someone is a value, I wouldn't send there's somewhere else to get. But yeah, other than that, I don't have anything to say about Everton. I mean, pretty third overall.
Yeah. So let's see how they play in the easy games. They have Bournemouth at home. Not necessarily easy, but not as difficult as Spurs as well. So let's watch and monitor them as well. But otherwise, I think we have covered everything for this game, the key players, heat maps, positioning and all. So thank you guys for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe.